The brave little ant. In a meadow, a tiny ant named Andy often felt overlooked. When a massive storm threatened his colony, Andy was assigned to guard the entrance. While on watch, he noticed a butterfly caught in the wind, heading toward a spider's web. Without hesitation, Andy rushed to help, using a piece of string to pull the butterfly to safety. Grateful, the butterfly agreed to help Andy, and together they reinforced the ant hill before the storm hit. The queen praised Andy for his courage, proving that even the smallest can make a big difference. Andy no longer doubted himself and became a hero, showing that bravery and kindness matter more than size. The brave little ant. Once upon a time, in a bustling meadow filled with colorful flowers and buzzing insects, there lived a tiny ant named Andy. Andy was smaller than the other ants in his colony, and because of his size, he often felt overlooked. While his fellow ants carried large crumbs and built sturdy tunnels, Andy wondered if he'd ever be able to do something important. One sunny morning, the ant colony received alarming news. A huge storm was approaching, and the queen ant ordered everyone to work together to fortify their hill and gather as much food as possible. The colony buzzed with activity as ants scurried around, lifting heavy loads and digging deep tunnels. Andy wanted to help, but every task seemed too big for him. "You can help guard the entrance," said one of the older ants, patting Andy on the head. Andy nodded, trying not to feel discouraged. He stationed himself by the entrance of the hill, watching his friends work tirelessly. As the day went on, Andy noticed something unusual. A butterfly was struggling to fly against the strong winds. Its delicate wings flapped frantically, but it was being blown closer and closer to a sticky spider's web stretched between two tall blades of grass. Andy's tiny heart raced. He knew he had to act fast. Without a second thought, Andy sprinted toward the butterfly. The wind pushed against him, but he dug his tiny feet into the ground and kept going. When he reached the butterfly, he called out, "Hold on, I'll help you." The butterfly looked at Andy with wide, frightened eyes. "I can't escape the wind," it said. "I'm too light." Andy thought quickly. He remembered seeing a piece of string near the entrance of the ant hill. "Wait here," he said, and dashed back to retrieve it. Gripping the string tightly in his jaws, Andy returned to the butterfly and tied one end around its body. "Hold on tight," Andy said. With all his might, he began pulling the butterfly away from the web. The wind howled, and the ground beneath him felt slippery, but Andy didn't give up. Slowly but surely, he dragged the butterfly to safety. Once they were away from the web, the butterfly fluttered its wings experimentally. "You saved me," it said gratefully. "How can I ever repay you?" Andy smiled. "No need to repay me. I'm just glad you're safe." Before the butterfly could respond, a loud crack of thunder echoed across the meadow. The storm was near. Andy looked toward the ant hill and saw that the wind had blown away some of the protective barriers his colony had built. "I have to go help my colony," Andy said. The butterfly nodded. "Then I'll help you," it replied. Together, they hurried back to the ant hill. Andy climbed to the top and began directing his fellow ants to rebuild the barriers. The butterfly used its wings to carry small leaves and sticks, dropping them where they were needed most. The ants were amazed by the butterfly's help and Andy's bravery. When the storm finally arrived, the ant hill stood strong against the wind and rain. The queen ant praised Andy for his quick thinking and courage. "You may be small, Andy, but today you showed us that even the smallest among us can do great things." The butterfly stayed friends with the ants and often visited their hill, bringing stories of far-off places. And Andy? He no longer doubted himself. He had discovered that bravery and kindness were more important than size. From that day on, Andy became a hero in the meadow, proving that anyone, no matter how small, can make a big difference. Subscribe to the channel's Storybots for new videos.